So since the pandemic hit last year, it's really shifted my training and some of the goals around training quite a bit because I wasn't able to compete in strongman for quite a while. And also, obviously, the training was affected quite a bit not having access to the normal gym situation. So I've been doing a lot more endurance based training with started out as cycling, which there's quite a few videos on the Find Your Flow channel where I incorporate some talk about how much I enjoy biking. And then there's also the running, which I've included almost for a year now. It's been pretty close to a year since I started running. And that's really the first time that I've done any significant running since high school. So it's been about a dozen years, and it did not start out easily, but it's getting a bit better. And at this point, one of the goals that I have for myself is to run a 6 minute mile. So that's kind of the purpose of this vlog series, is to document some of the training and some of what I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks as I hopefully get closer to that 6 minute mile goal. And then also, now that things are starting to open up a bit more with gyms and with the training situation and starting to plan some of the strongman competitions coming up, I think that this will also include, some of the training that I'll be doing for strongman, and also kind of the decision process there, because I don't know, still not sure if that's what I'm going to focus my effort on right now, especially because the spa is just getting reopened. There's a lot going on that needs to be prioritized first over the sort of egocentric competition of strongman and really focusing. There's a lot that goes into strongman training. It requires a lot of time and dedication. And I just don't know if I have like the mental capacity or some of the physical injuries that I'm still dealing with. Like, I've had back pain from lifting heavy for over 3 years now. And it's very morally draining. It's very emotionally draining to keep going through that. So the decision to compete in the qualifier that I'm hosting is still there, trying to figure that out. But first off, I really want to try to accomplish this other goal of running the 6 minute mile, just because it's different from all the training that I've done for the past 10 years or so. And we'll see if I can actually make it happen. And so far, I haven't really done a whole lot of research on what it takes to do the training, or what it takes to run a 6 minute mile. So I've just recently started to look into more of that, and I'll try to share some of that so that if anybody else wants to set a similar goal, it doesn't have to be the same, but it's always helpful to look into other people who have accomplished similar goals in order to kind of kickstart your process. That's one of the values of reading and being able to accumulate knowledge in different ways, whether you watch videos or vlogs of other people who have done it and they've shared their information and their knowledge that way, or if you read articles or books that can help you to get through the hardest beginning part, is really important and is going to give you a definite advantage. And so I don't know entirely how many miles I should be running each week or how many days I should be running, but because it's actually all over the place with some of the different articles and things that I've looked into so far, but I'm thinking somewhere around 4 to 5 days per week I will continue to run, with a mix of different intervals for typically 800 meters, 400 meters, or sometimes doing 1 mile intervals, as well as working on building up some endurance still. I think that my endurance is pretty close to where it needs to be, hopefully, at this point, but the speed is definitely still not there for being able to maintain the pace that I need for that 6 minute mile. So if you find this interesting at all, feel free to subscribe and follow along. I will try to update regularly on this sort of more vlog style video, and hopefully you find it interesting or it gives you some inspiration to go after whatever goals that you're working on right now. And we'll definitely talk about some of that too, since it's super interesting on how we motivate and how we drive ourselves to change, and the different ways that we can break down bigger goals into smaller steps to get from point A to point B. Something that I'm super passionate about, fascinated in, and so we'll talk about that along the journey as well. Oh, and one more thing. If anybody has any pointers or knows maybe you've accomplished a 6-minute mile before, or you've done something similar endurance wise, definitely share any input you have because I would appreciate it. I don't really know what I'm doing.